impacted or not, please, please, please listen closely and help us spread the word, because we're trying to get this through all means to the people on the ground who are impacted. So we will have, we have here present Sandy Esslinger, who is the FEMA Federal Coordinating Officer, Barbara Nittis, SBA Representative, Chief Rodney Reed, Harris County Fire Marshal's Office, Texas Department of Emergency Management Assistant Chief Sean Miller, Paul Locke, Manager of Local Government Relations from Centerpoint, and Mark Sloan, who is our Chief Emergency Manager here in Harris County. So there are two separate worlds out there. I think everybody has already seen. Half of our community is just living as usual. Everything's open. It's just another Sunday. For the other half, for those that have been affected, whether by the flooding a few weeks ago or by the winds a few days ago, it's really reminiscent of a hurricane or some of the worst tragedies that come our way here from Mother Nature. But within that tragedy, we're seeing fantastic examples of people pulling together. I can't possibly name the churches, the community groups, the neighbors, everybody helping. And so I want to give you first a thank you to so many folks who are helping us help people, and to share not only what we're doing, but what we need you to do, specific steps if you're affected, or to help us spread the word in order to get the most aid you can in this moment. So help is here. The power is coming back soon. We're collaborating very well with our state, local, federal partners, and we're working hard to try to get everyone back on their feet as possible, as much as we can. We can't make folks whole right now, but we can lend a hand, all of us together. And it makes a difference now that we have the federal disaster declaration from President Biden that was really championed by Governor Abbott, our congressional delegation, and others. So first on the power, and Paul Locke, as I said, is here to answer questions. As of 10 a.m., there were fewer than 350,000 customers in the region without power. And so that means that over 500,000 customers have been restored, have had their power restored over, well, really in the first couple of days of the disaster. So I know a lot of people are waiting for the cavalry in terms of Centerpoint arriving, but I'm sure you have noticed that more and more people in your life are having power back, even if you don't, and they're working with over 2,000 individuals, mutual aid experts, and folks who are working on the power lines, helping us bring power back. What they have told me they anticipate is that they expect restoration substantially complete by end of day Wednesday to customers who are able to receive service. So what does that mean? If you don't have power by the end of the day on Wednesday, we recommend that you call an electrician to check on your side of the infrastructure, because then the problem is likely not to be on the Centerpoint side, it's likely to be on your side due to damage. And so for right now, what you can do, rather than wait until Wednesday to find out, is you can go outside, look from the ground at your weatherhead to safely see whether the equipment is damaged or not. And so we have an image here of the weatherhead. You can see over there in both corners. And so just take a look, please, as we said, from the ground. But if you see damage there, then you can start calling an electrician now. And that way, by the time Wednesday rolls around, you will definitely have power if things on your end are totally worked out. And so I do want to say thank you to Centerpoint in that the speed with which they and their crews are restoring power is unprecedented. It's not comfortable. We all wish it was faster. There are many, many people here that are working the disaster that are also lacking power, and so everybody understands the discomfort. But to have substantially 100% restoration in less than a week is certainly not only different from what we initially expected, but also very different from what's been done in the past. So we really appreciate all of those folks, those crews working out there. The heat's not going to get any less It's only going to get hotter from here, and those folks have been working literally day and night to help as many people receive power again as possible. On the county side, we're currently activated at level 3, increased readiness. We will remain at level 3 throughout the entire week as the power restoration is going on, and we transition to full recovery. The county, Harris County, will be open tomorrow as Harris County government. We are going to be working, however, some buildings will not be operational, but our departments are working hard to find their way around that and make notifications as necessary. They know, the department heads know what buildings have power, and they're communicating that to employees and to the public as needed. So as always, check readyharris.org. For example, if you have a court date tomorrow, some questions that you really need a county service tomorrow, we will be updating that on what might be moved or might be temporarily delayed, but as a whole, Harris County government is open. As I mentioned, it's going to continue to be extremely hot. So many of the folks standing here and their colleagues, so law enforcement, the fire department, even our emergency management personnel, they have been checking in, the cities have been doing this too, checking in with individuals in their neighborhood that have registered as being medically fragile. And so overnight, for example, just our team here checked in with around 1,400 individuals. That means there are more people coming to the shelters because we're really identifying the folks that maybe needed some help to get to a shelter. So that's going to continue. As you may know, there's great news for folks who've been directly impacted. And let me pause and say this is one of the 2 most important messages that we need folks to take away from this emergency and to pass them on. The first main message is that this aid goes for the individuals impacted by the flood, and it goes for individuals impacted by the winds. Both incidents. The disaster declaration we received from the president says from April 26th and beyond. And that is how long these folks have been working. That is how long those individuals impacted by the floods have been trying to rebuild and restore their lives. So that's the first message. The second message is that for those individuals that were affected by either of those disasters, we encourage you and need you in order to get the help you as much as we can to apply for both FEMA aid and small business assistance. So it's great news that we will be able to receive FEMA aid and small business assistance. As you guys will recall, perhaps the most recent example I can remember is there was some tornadoes in Pasadena about 1.5 years ago, and it wasn't to the level. Obviously, that's good for the community, but it wasn't to the level where this assistance was available. And so those that were impacted were really left with much fewer resources than the folks are going to be able to qualify for now. Again, just to be able to calibrate expectations, it doesn't mean that they'll be able to help you fix your home 100%, but it's going to be, and our representatives from SBA and FEMA will explain in a little bit, help for you to get back on your feet, and it will be very much dependent on, whether you have home insurance, what the situation is, what disaster you're part of, etc. And so here's how you apply. You go to either readyharris.org, or you can go directly to the FEMA or SBA websites or call numbers, and the leadership here from each of the organizations will give that out. And so another point on this is obviously fraud is a potential. And so I want people to know there are going to be crews out there. So the way it works is they have to inspect your home and the damage before they can provide the aid. And they have to receive your application before they can send out the inspectors. This is moving very fast. We have so many people on the ground right now from FEMA. They have already done inspections. They just arrived, I wouldn't even say 24 hours ago. You'll have to correct me. And they've already performed inspections. They've already issued the relevant financial support. So Everybody who has been affected and those who can help us spread the word, we need individuals to apply for FEMA assistance, SBA assistance, so that they can get the aid sooner. Obviously, there has been widespread damage, and so while we couldn't receive a timeline from FEMA, they are working as fast as they can, and they don't have the time, because just as we are, we're still trying to assess just how much people were impacted, and we need people to apply. So in terms of fraud, they are going to be inspecting homes, right? Once you apply, FEMA will be. And so you will see individuals show up to your neighborhood. They will be in teams. They will be wearing FEMA shirts, like we have the FEMA representative wearing here. They will have official badges, and perhaps we can show one in a little bit. And so those are the things that you're going to be looking for. They're not going to be in marked cars, because they came, they probably have a rental car, something like that. But all the other three things they will have. And when in doubt, you can reach out to FEMA and confirm that that in fact these individuals are here from FEMA. So the number to call for FEMA, both if you have questions and if you have questions about whether those inspectors are in fact who they say they are, you can call 346-354-7459, 346-354-7459. And so SBA also will be dispatching crews into neighborhoods. No, okay. FEMA's the only one that this applies to. So I just want to make that clear. Be cognizant, be watchful, and if you do end up identifying somebody who is trying to take advantage of people or trying to engage in price gouging, whether it be whatever assistance or just a contractor that you hire, please let us know, so that we can do something about that before they try to hurt your neighbors financially. And so the way to report that is on Ready Harris. We have a line that works both for the Texas Attorney General and our Harris County Attorney's Office. Debris pickup. So folks from the precincts, the cities, the engineering department, contractors, TxDOT, they have done an amazing job picking up debris in the main thoroughfares, really most of the neighborhoods in terms of what was initially there. But of course, people are beginning to put out debris that they have collected themselves, that maybe was in the backyard or whatever it was. So that debris pickup, that is going to require multiple pass-throughs to get everything done. And so we're probably going to take at least 30 days to complete that. And again, that is the debris that was not out there when these folks did their first pass, or if it's in a really small street somewhere maybe they haven't gotten to. But you can call 311 to report debris if you haven't already. You can call 311 from anywhere in Harris County, and they'll route you to the right agency. In terms of supplies and resources, we have cooling centers open across precincts, libraries, some communities of faith. So we've tried to collect as many as we can on readyharris.org, but also check with your church, check with your neighborhood. TDM, the Texas Department of Emergency Management, are here, and so I also want to highlight just how supportive they and Governor Abbott have been. I have had outreach from Chief Kidd pretty much every day since the disaster. They've also been here on the ground and in our region since April 26th through to today. We're on May 19th and working really hard. What they're doing now, specifically now that the disaster itself is over and we're in the recovery piece, is helping us with supplies like food, water, additional law enforcement, right, that Houston requested downtown, that kind of materials that we really need to be able to disperse throughout the community. On elections, on voting and which voting locations have power, because voting is starting tomorrow. The county clerk's office will release a full update this evening. The county clerk is on top of this, and the clerk's office will be prepared for the start of early voting tomorrow. And that is as much detail as I can provide. She will provide the update later today. For residents who have children, Remember, HISD sent out a notice that just over 200 schools will be open tomorrow. That's great news. Some are affected, but just the fact they can open partially is something we didn't think could be done, and so that's a big deal. And our other school districts, whether it be whichever one you live in that is affected, they will be checking chatting at various intervals throughout the day. So just stay alert to their updates. Check your school district's distribution list, their social media, their information. Midday, evening, in the morning is when they might provide those updates. But remember to be patient. It might be a little bit slow getting to where you need to be in the affected areas. So just be patient, be kind to folks. Remember, not all our intersections are back up. That's something else that TDM is helping us with. So that's another one. And then let me talk a little bit about public safety. We used to be worried about people drowning and being in heavy winds. Those were the main safety concerns that we had during these two disasters. Now that the disasters are over, it's not that we don't have those disaster-related concerns anymore. We actually have different concerns. And so right now our concern is carbon monoxide poisoning. There has been a huge increase in the number of calls on that. It is bodily injury from attempting repairs. It is electrocution, heat-related issues. I've had dehydration myself. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. I was feeling really tired, really nauseous, kind of strange. And somebody said, well, maybe you have dehydration, you need to drink some water. So just look up the symptoms of that. Think about it for those close to you if you see somebody who looks like they might be getting affected by the heat. And then in terms of protecting yourself from carbon monoxide poisoning, Chief Reed here will explain that. But as far as bodily injury, there are many organizations right now with trained individuals that want to help you put tarps on your roof, cut down what you need to cut down. There are neighbors helping who know what they're doing, but you don't need to be another casualty by trying to climb up there and trying to do this yourself. And so Crisis Cleanup is the umbrella organization, and they're trained for this, and they work with other organizations like Team Rubicon, and they will go to where you are, and they will do this for you for free. And so what you need to do, We'll continue in a little bit. We had somebody collapse, so we have first responders helping.
All right, she is doing fine. She said her leg's locked and but I think we're going to get started. Just give us a couple minutes and we'll resume. Thank you. The judge is going to go check on her.
Yeah, so no, she's okay. She's just feeling a little faint, but she's okay. She's all good, and she's good for us to continue. So I was actually just finishing, so I was asking folks to call Crisis Cleanup, which is through 211 211 will refer you to all the resources, including the ones we've mentioned. And so that's how you can also call on the folks that help with mucking and gutting, the folks that help with tarping your home, taking down debris, etc. And so just to close out, and then I'll repeat in Spanish, we will know more on schools as of 5 p.m. today. People can get help if they were affected by the flooding a few weeks ago, or if they're affected by the winds, and this goes for our entire region. And we need affected individuals to apply for both FEMA assistance and small business assistance, and of course, your insurance company. So, and having called your insurance company and receiving help from an insurance company does not negate your ability to receive either of these support options. So let me repeat briefly in Spanish, and then I'll pass it on to Sandy Eslinger from FEMA. Sé que en muchas áreas la situación se ve negativa. Quiero hablar, brevemente de lo que sucedió. Ya está muy bien. Simplemente se sintió algo rara, pero está bien. Dijo que quería que siguiéramos y ya. Lo mejor es no hablar tanto de eso y seguir adelante para no hacerla sentir apenada. Entonces, la mitad de la comunidad está viviendo como si nada, súper tranquilos, todo está abierto. La otra mitad de la comunidad pareciera que ha pasado un huracán, pareciera que ha sucedido una de las tragedias mayores que suceden en nuestra área por la madre naturaleza. Entonces necesito ayuda de las personas que están bien y también de las personas que han sido afectadas. Lo que más necesitamos hoy día es que nos ayuden a correr la voz. Entonces, que las personas afectadas sepan dos cosas. Donde sea que viven en nuestra región, si se inundaron hace 3 semanas, tienen derecho a asistencia. Número 2, les pido que apliquen tanto a la asistencia de FEMA como a la asistencia de SBA. Una son préstamos y la otra es simplemente los fondos que les vayan a proveer. Entonces, ayúdenos a comunicar eso. Nos sobra, obvio, hablar de la comunidad inmigrante. Tanto ciudadanos como residentes permanentes califican para este apoyo. Si usted no es ni residente ni ciudadano, entonces debe tener una persona de más de 18 años en su hogar que aplique por el hogar. Entonces, van a hablar aquí más de qué se trata estas opciones. En cuanto a la electricidad, alrededor de las 10 de la mañana hoy, menos de 350,000 hogares estaban sin luz. Centerpoint de verdad que ha trabajado muy bien durante todos estos días. Tienen planeado que para el miércoles ya todas las personas que están sin luz regresen a la normalidad en cuanto a la electricidad para algún tiempo en el miércoles. Quiero dejar una cosa clara, es posible que el problema no sea de Centerpoint, de la infraestructura de ellos, sino que el problema sea con la infraestructura de su hogar. Entonces, si la luz no regresa el miércoles, debe llamar un electricista. Pero para prepararse antes del miércoles y no tener que esperar hasta ese día, entonces los invitamos a que revisen su cabezal de entrada eléctrica, por favor, desde el piso. Entonces, aquí hay una imagen donde puede ver lo que se llama el weatherhead. Entonces, de abajo observan el weatherhead. Si ven algún problema ahí, entonces llaman a un electricista y así regresar a la luz el miércoles. En cuanto al condado, seguimos activando a nivel 3. El condado va a abrir el día de mañana, todo va a estar abierto, pero sí hay, por ejemplo, algunos lugares en el condado, algunos edificios que han recibido daño. Entonces revisen si tienen una cita en corte o algún recado que tienen que hacer en el condado. Busque en la página web de readyharris.org, allá pondremos la información, o puede llamar directamente. Han habido muchas llamadas a los socorristas y más personas en nuestros refugios, en los resguardos, porque han ido de puerta a puerta muchos de los socorristas para checar en las personas que tengan alguna enfermedad, alguna condición médica que los haga más frágiles a esa situación, al calor, a la falta de electricidad. Como saben, el presidente Biden Y le agradezco también al gobernador Abbott, que ayudó mucho con esto, y a nuestra delegación del Congreso. El presidente Biden aprobó ayuda para el condado Harris y los demás condados afectados. Entonces, dentro de la tragedia, esas son muy buenas noticias y es por eso que vamos a poder recibir estos fondos, bien sea préstamos o bien sea los fondos directamente. Los representantes aquí van a hablar con más detalle. En cuanto al dinero de FEMA, que es el dinero que se lo entregan directamente, no sé cuánto por persona, depende de la situación individual, pero no se trata de solucionarle todo el problema, sino de ayudarlo a poder pararse con sus dos piernas bien para seguir adelante. Es una ayuda importante, pero no va a curar todo, lo quiero dejar bien claro para que todos tengamos las expectativas. Obviamente nos gustaría poder solucionar toda la tragedia que ha traído este desastre, que no es culpa de nadie, pero esto es lo máximo que se puede hacer y me alegra que tengamos esa opción. Sí quiero que sean conscientes de que, como siempre, hay fraude, hay personas que intentan tomar ventaja. Entonces, cuando usted aplique para FEMA, van a venir inspectores a inspeccionar su hogar. Tenga cuidado que no sean malhechores intentando de tomar ventaja. Los individuos de FEMA van a venir con la blusa, con el logo, como se ve aquí, azul clara. El carro va a ser normal, no va a tener el logo porque van a rentar carros, han venido todos de todo el país, y también van a tener un carnet de identificación oficial del gobierno. Si igual tiene dudas, tiene sospecha, puede llamar a FEMA, contactar a FEMA, preguntarles al 346-354-7459. 346-354-7459. Y si ve personas intentando tomar ventaja o contratistas cobrando más de lo que es, puede reportar eso también vía readyharris.org para que no abusen de más personas. Los escombros se han recogido la mayoría, pero hay algunos todavía, por ejemplo, que la gente va sacando de la parte de atrás del hogar, de adentro. Entonces, durante el próximo mes van a estar pasando varias veces por los vecindarios para recoger esos escombros. En cuanto a recursos, como les he dicho, FEMA trae un montón de gente. De hecho, ya han otorgado fondos a algunas personas y llegaron como que ayer. Entonces, para poder recibir fondos tiene que aplicar. Y para tiene que hacer una inspección. Para recibir la inspección tiene que aplicar. Entonces, aplique, por favor, tanto a ayuda de SBA como ayuda de FEMA. También llame a su aseguranza, obviamente a su seguro. Si tiene seguro de inundación o de hogar, eso no niega el hecho de que pueda recibir los préstamos o el dinero tanto de SBA como de FEMA. Las escuelas, alrededor de las 5 p.m., sabremos cuáles abren y cuáles cierran. Las buenas noticias con HISD que pueden abrir parcialmente, normalmente eso no es posible, entonces, bueno, al menos algunos chicos van a poder ir a estudiar. Recuerde ser paciente. Y lo último que les voy a comunicar aquí es la seguridad personal. Antes, durante estos desastres, nos preocupaba las inundaciones, nos preocupaba estar afuera en medio de esos vientos. Hoy día siguen estas amenazas a la seguridad personal, pero son distintos. Entonces, ¿qué estamos viendo hoy día? Muchas llamadas por intoxicación de monóxido de carbono. Aquí nuestra oficina de bomberos va a hablar un poco de eso. También caídas, personas que intentan ponerle la carpa al hogar ellos mismos e intentan usar una sierra por primera vez. Bueno, lo que es estar en el sol demasiado, personas que se han desmayado, que se han deshidratado. Entonces, sea consciente de eso, aprenda cuáles son los síntomas de deshidratación. Por ejemplo, yo he sufrido de eso y la verdad no sabía qué era lo que me estaba pasando. No me sentía sedienta, pero me sentía como mareada, súper cansada, un poco de náusea. Entonces, busque cuáles son los síntomas para así poderlos identificar. Y en cuanto a intentar arreglar lo más inmediato de su hogar, poner la carpa, cerrar las ventanas, eso básico, no lo haga usted mismo. Hay grupos de voluntarios que apoyan a todos nosotros, tengan papeles o no, y se llama Crisis Cleanup. Entonces, ellos trabajan con otras organizaciones sin ánimo de lucro y todos juntos ayudan a arreglar eso alrededor de toda la región. Entonces, llame al 211 para pedir ayuda gratis de estas personas que son profesionales, saben cómo hacerlo, no se van a lastimar y lo quieren ayudar. Y bueno, me faltó decir que los préstamos de SBA también aplican para organizaciones sin ánimo de lucro y para pequeñas empresas. Bueno, voy a terminar aquí y ahora va a hablar Sandy Esslinger, la coordinadora de la Agencia Federal para el Manejo de Emergencias, FEMA.
Thank you, ma'am. So in terms of FEMA bringing our programs to support the state and the local communities that have been impacted, I think today's really important message is that impacted individuals, whether you've been impacted personally and you have incurred damages to your home or to your property, is for you to register for FEMA assistance. The registration process is easy. There are a variety of different ways that you can register for this assistance. The first is that assistance registration is available online at www.disasterassistance.gov. And we also encourage people to download the FEMA app, which can be downloaded on your phone from the Android or the iPhone stores. So that app actually allows you to apply for assistance. It also helps you keep track of your assistance request process over time. So we definitely encourage that. Another way to register for assistance, and I'm going to look at this because I absolutely don't want to give you guys the wrong phone number, is you can register via phone, and the phone number for that registration is 1-800-621-3362. That's a toll-free number, and that the phone assistance for registration is available from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week at this point. So again, those are all various ways to register for the assistance. There are a number of different assistance programs that are available. I'm not going to talk through all of them, but what I can tell you is if you go through this relatively simple process to apply, you will be queued up for the assistance eligibility determination for the various types of assistance. So again, the important message here is to apply if you have been impacted, and go through a process of this application that is most suitable for you. The other thing that I will say is there's going to be assistance out in the field. We will, upon the guidance of the counties and the state, we will be providing what's called disaster survivor assistance teams, DSAT teams, that are going to be out in the field, and they'll be wearing FEMA garb, so they'll have FEMA jackets or FEMA shirts on, and they'll be going door to door in the impact areas and helping people apply if they haven't been able to apply in any other way. We will also be working with our partners, SBA and other partners, including the state and local communities, to open up disaster recovery centers. And those disaster recovery centers will be kind of a one location where you can go register for assistance, but they're also really important over time to be able to help you if you're having questions about your application process, and to look for other forms of assistance. That's the reason that we have our partners involved in those DRCs. So those are things that are coming fairly soon, and we're working with our partners to get all of the necessary approvals and get those set up and running as quickly as possible. So with that, I think I'm going to turn it over to my SBA partner to discuss that.
Thank you. I want to thank also the judge for having us here. And I will give you a little bit of an overview as far as SBA disaster assistance. So it's for homeowners, renters, businesses, and private nonprofit organizations can get low-interest government loans. For home loans, we offer up to $500,000 to repair or replace physical damage to your home, as well as $100,000 for personal property, anything that's inside your home and your primary car. Renters you can get the $100,000, which is for your personal property and your primary car. For businesses, we offer up to $2 million for real estate, machinery, equipment, inventory that was affected, and an economic injury disaster loan, which is that working capital loan for economic losses, as you know, some businesses have been closed due to this disaster. For private nonprofit organizations, it's up to $2 million as well for physical damage loans, as well as the economic injury disaster loan. They're up to 30 years, these disaster loans. There is a 12-month deferment until the date of your first disbursement. You can, in the meantime, people can still apply online on lending.sba.gov. But we also, as our FEMA administrator had mentioned, FCO, that we were going to be there at the disaster recovery centers, and also we're going to have business recovery centers available for customer service representatives to get that Water One assistance. But we have, as well as the as far as mitigation, additional funds for mitigation. So that's really to prepare you for future disasters, as well as the relocation and refinance option on these loans. So we just want to advise everybody we're here to help and provide this assistance available, and that's what I want to let you all know. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rodney Reed, Executive Assistant Chief for the Harris County Fire Marshal's Office, and a special thank you to our state and federal partners that are here supporting our first responders and our impacted community. I would like to talk a little bit what Judge Hidalgo was talking about, which is the safety. Although we have this amazing assistance here now to support us, we also have to remember that we have to take care of ourselves as we move through this until we get to that new state of normal. So what I would say is we need to be very conscious of carbon monoxide poisoning. As of the last couple days, our fire and EMS agencies have responded to a dramatic increase in carbon monoxide alarms at residents, having 44 of them just yesterday. So a couple of notes that I'd like to make sure we are encouraging ourselves, but also encouraging and paying attention to our friends and families and neighbors, is ensuring that we're keeping generators at least 5 feet away from any open air intakes or openings to your residence or wherever you're staying. Make sure we're not refueling our generators while they're still running. Make sure we shut those off, let them cool, and then we can refuel them. Although we, the Harris County Fire Marshal's Office, do not encourage the use of personal generators at apartment complexes, I would say in the event that you are using them, not only do you need to be conscious about the safety of your residents, but you also need to be considerate to the residents around you at that location, making sure that you're keeping them off of your patios and keeping them a safe distance away from everyone. Additionally, we need to be considerate and consciousness of the impacts as the power is being restored. Although we'll be very happy, I do encourage everybody to remember that there are impacts that may be unknown or unseen, and that when power is restored, you conduct an assessment, and if you identify a hazard, you immediately call 911 so that the appropriate resources can respond. Additionally, please make sure we are not burning our debris. There's lots of hazards associated with that. As the County Judge Hidalgo has talked about, our Harris County Engineering Department and other stakeholders will be coming around doing the debris management. Let's get rid of that debris in a safe and proper manner. And then finally, on behalf of the first responders of Harris County, we do encourage our residents to utilize 211 and 311 as an alternative to the 911 service assistance for non-emergency or assistance that may be needed. And on behalf of all the first responders in Harris County, a special thank you to FEMA, SBA, the state, the judge, Mark Sloan, for y'all's countless efforts in getting us through response into recovery, and thank you all for your support. Thank you.
All right, thank you all so much. And so this was, as a reminder, Sandy Esslinger, FEMA Federal Coordinating Officer, Barbara Nittis, SBA Representative, Rodney Reed, Assistant Chief, Harris County Fire Marshal's Office, and we have Sean Miller, TDM Assistant Chief, Paul Locke, Manager of Local Government Relations from Centerpoint, and Mark Sloan, OEM Chief Emergency Management, to answer questions. Any questions? Yes.
I think you mentioned it earlier, but early voting starts tomorrow. Can you just give us a quick update of which voting centers, if you know off the top of your head, which voting centers are closed to power? Are they all going to be open? Stuff like that.
I don't have details to that level. I know we've seen more and more get power as the days have gone by, but that information ultimately is with the county clerk. So she has assured me and wanted me to assure the community and voters that she will have an update tonight. And of course, our engineering department and everyone is helping her as much as we can. She said there's going to be smooth elections, and she will have an update later.
Gentlemen, the Senate, I don't know if I think Senator earlier had said like up to 80% of people could be restored by tonight, and then I guess 90% by Wednesday. Is that still on track at this point, or what do you think, Senator?
Thank you, Judge. Paul Locke with Centerpoint Energy. As of this morning, we have 88% of our customers back on with power. We've restored power to over 600,000 customers, and we've got, as of this morning, we had about 350,000 customers still out. We expect everyone to be back on by end of business Wednesday, and if they're not, we ask that they check with an electrician to see if there's a potential issue on their side of the equipment. In the meantime, they can look at their weatherhead as illustrated by this graphic. They can look at their weatherhead to see if it's damaged, and if it's damaged, I would recommend calling their electrician now. And I would remind people, if they see a down power line, to step away and call us at 713-207-2222.
Anything else? Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it, and thank you to everyone here. Thank you all.